Okay, we're going to have to do today and tomorrow and Yom Rishon. And Yom Sheni, there'll be classes. In other words, on Monday, there will be classes. Even though I know that for you, it's outside of Israel. But nevertheless, God willing, there will be a class. In Israel, it's only one day holiday, right? The rest, okay. Here we go. Ready? The yahrzeit of today is the day of the passing away of the third Rebbe of Chabad, the Tzemach Tzedek. He passed away in the year 5626 in 1866. 1866 in Lubavitcher, and he's buried there in the city of Lubavitcher. My grandfather related at the age of 12 that the Tzemach Tzedek was the grandson of the first Rebbe of Chabad. The first Rebbe of Chabad, Rabbi Shneur Zalman. We have the picture of him. Where does it go? I don't know. Okay, anyway. Here it is. Sorry. So this is the first Rebbe of Chabad. And the first Rebbe of Chabad had a daughter, Devorah Leah, and she saw that her father was was under a terrible decree from heaven because he revealed these ideas of Hasidut, and it angered the whole religious Jewish world. And not the whole religious world, but the main part of the religious world. And she saw in heaven that there was a decree against him. And she got three rabbis or a group of rabbis from Chabad together. And she said that she wants to give her life for the Rebbe's life. And at first they refused and etc. Anyway, it happened. This was right before Rosh Hashanah. And she said, but she wanted the Rebbe to bring up her son. And sure enough, she passed away a couple of days later. And her son was the Tzemach Tzedek. So that was the first Rebbe's grandson, in other words, a grandson. And he passed away in 1866 in Lubavitch. He's buried there. My grandfather read it. He said, at the age of 12, the Tzemach Tzedek began to write scholarly dissertations in Talmud and Hasidic philosophy. That's what we just learned, right? Yesterday, we learned Derech Mitzvotecha. Some of that is written before he was bar mitzvah at the age of 12. Okay, that is today. Now, shalom. That is today. Today is the day of the passing away of the Tzemach Tzedek. Today is Friday, and so on Friday we have a short class. We only give one class on Friday. So we just finished learning the Devar Malchut. We finished it. And now we're on the Yom, and there'll be a story. Here we go. So the Tzemach Tzedek passed away in 1866. Before he was bar mitzvah, the Tzemach Tzedek, the third Rebbe of Chabad, he wrote Hasidut and philosophy. That's like we learned yesterday in Derech Mitzvotecha. Okay, that is today. Let's do tomorrow. With regard to selling chametz, it's our custom not to make the rabbi as an agent that he is empowered, but to sell the chametz to the rabbi with what's called a third power guarantor. My father would personally supervise the baking of the matzah. He then would say the Hallel, but he would interrupt sometimes to give instructions how to knead it, etc. After today, this year, Passover falls on Yom Rishon. In other words, immediately when Shabbat goes out, that's the beginning of Passover. So on Shabbat, you can't bake matzah, but there are a lot of Jews that have a custom that they bake matzahs in the afternoon right before Passover. Now, the afternoon right before Passover, it's forbidden chametz, so you have to be very careful how they're baking it so that there's no chametz falls on the floor or something like that because it becomes yours. There's a lot of laws, but there's some people that do that. And he says that one of them was the Rebbe, the first Rebbe of, and the Rebbes of Chabad would bake matzah then in the afternoon right before Passover. And they would say the Hallel. The Hallel prayer is the prayer that we say, a special prayer that we say on the holidays and etc. Especially. So they would say this Hallel prayer. Halus Hashem 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 Nevorach Me'atav Ad Olam etc. It's the Psalms from, I'll tell you what the Psalms from. They are from, how can I do this? I'm sorry, one second. What I want is always not here. Here we go. The Hallel prayer are the Psalms which are right after, it's 120, right? Let's have a look over here. I'm sorry, I'm embarrassed, but what can I do? Here we go. No. It's the Psalms right before, here we go. Yeah, Psalm 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118. That's the Hallel. Say those Psalms from 113 on. Okay. That's what he would say when he said when he baked the matzah before Passover, right before Passover. Okay, now that is Shabbos. Now we're going to do Yom Rishon. Our custom is to use the morer and the charoset together. Morer and charoset is the same thing. We use horseradish and romaine lettuce. We say kiddush, we say standing up. We say hey lach ma'anya. Some people say ha lach ma'anya. When you eat morer, you should think of the second morer that's eaten also later. The first Seder, my father would be brief. Just as a short summary of what we do in the night of Passover, right? There's 4 cups we drink. One is the first thing in the Seder night. One of them is the last. There's 2 in the middle. 2 in the middle. One of them is after we finish the meal. Right? After we finish the meal. The other one is after we finish the meal. The other one is after we finish the big Hallel prayer. And the final one is after we eat the afikomen. After the Bruchas HaMazon, we eat the afikomen. And then we say Bruchas HaMazon and we drink a cup. So that's the 4 cups. The main part of the Haggadah is said on the second cup. We drink the first cup immediately, that's Kiddush, and then we pour a second cup, and we say the whole Haggadah on that. When we finish the Haggadah, we drink the second cup, and then we eat the matzah. When you eat matzah, every time you drink a cup, you should lean over to your left. When you eat matzah, you lean over to your left. Then they put matzah, the morah, the bitter herbs, into the matzah, and you lean over also. So when you drink the wine, or you drink the meat, drink the wine, or you eat matzah, I'm sorry, drink wine, or you eat matzah, you lean over to your left. That, in a nutshell, is the Passover Seder. You should look before the Passover Seder at what you say in the Haggadah. You should translate it into English, what you say, so you know what you're talking about. But essentially, we're praising God that He did big miracles and He took us out of Egypt, and He's going to take us out again from our. Okay, at the first, outside of Israel, there's 2 Seders, right? And the first Seder, my father would be very brief in order to eat the afikomen before midnight. On the second night, he would speak at a great length. He would begin before 9, and he would finish at 3 or 4 in the morning. And he would explain in great detail the different wonderful ideas that are hinted at in the Haggadah of Passover. So the first night, we eat matzah the first night. The first night is called the food of faith. Michael, the emenuta. The matzah on the second evening is called the food of healing. When healing brings faith, thank you, God, for when you heal me, you thank God for healing me. He says, Dank, dear God, for my refuah. And then there has been, means a person was sick, but we're doing it the other way around. We're doing the first night as faith. When faith brings healing, it means that it's a preventive healing. There was no sickness in the beginning. So healing first, and then faith first. We eat the matzah, that's first is faith, the food of faith, that's the first night. And then the second night, automatically all the bad things are healed. May it be that way. Nothing worse than being sick. The whole world is sick. We have to heal the whole entire world. Okay, that is the 3 days of Passover. Now let us have a story.